manufacturing of solar photovoltaic, solar panels, both crystalline silicon and thin film based. We also have an interesting business on the home entertainment side, where we are the largest owners of home entertainment content in India. Our initiatives on the energy side, and we got into the energy space and we got excited about the energy businesses in 2007, 2008, and our initiatives in the energy space have been led by a company called Moser Baer Projects. So, a brief overview of the vision of Moser Baer Projects. Moser Baer Projects is essentially building a portfolio in India across coal thermal, hydel and solar. Our portfolio, our strategy on the energy side is to look at the lowest delivered cost of energy across multiple fuel types to our consumers. And therefore our coal thermal power plants are based, are pithead plants that are fueled by our own captive coal mines, which allows us to achieve a low delivered cost of energy to our customers. Our hydel plants and solar plants are based upon a strategy of delivering and servicing daytime and evening peaking power requirements. So our hydel power plants, which we are building out in Himachal Pradesh, have got large storage and pondage, which allows us to service evening peaking power requirements. And our solar power plants are being built out across India and outside of India. Solar is the one area where we are building substantial power plants also outside of India, principally in Europe, are being built principally to service daytime peaking needs. Overall, these businesses are housed in different parts of the group, but they are all owned by a holding company called Moser Baer Projects. Our solar holding company is a company called Moser Baer Clean Energy, and a number of Moser Baer's Clean Energy's special purpose vehicles are actually commissioning the 30 megawatt Gujarat project. We have raised over the last 12 months over $600 million of capital from multiple investors, including Blackstone, Macquarie, IFC and other investors, which has provided us some of the capital we need to drive our expansion plans across multiple fuel types. We are overall have around a little over 5,000 megawatts of capacity today that's either under construction or at an advanced stage of development. And we hope to start to commission this capacity, starting with the Gunthiwara project that we are commissioning today, and incremental capacity from here through 2014. Most of the rear-ended capacity is 2013 and 14 capacity is coal thermal. Our solar projects are based. We have got about 300 megawatt portfolio of solar that we are building out, out of which about 200 megawatts is in India and 100 megawatts is spread across Germany, Italy, France and UK. Of the 200 megawatts, we are setting up about 95 megawatts in Gujarat, and the balance is split across multiple states. Our coal thermal capacity is being established in Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, which are again close to coal mines, and our hydel capacity is being set up in Himachal Pradesh. And the broad split is about 4,000 megawatts of coal thermal, 500 megawatts of hydel, and about 500 megawatts of solar. We also have our own captive coal mines to provide the coal or the fuel sources that we require for our coal-fired power projects. So a little bit about solar. I think when we look at India and we look at the development of our economy and we look at what are the key needs we're going to have over the next 10 years, I believe energy is going to be one of the most critical and vital resources that India is going to need in order to be able to effectively drive 7, 8, 9% type economic growth. CEA estimates that somewhere in the range of 300 gigawatts of incremental power generation capacity, so about 300,000 megawatts of incremental power generation capacity needs to be created in India over the next 10 years. We believe that multiple fuel sources will be needed to meet this energy requirement, and you will not be able to fulfill this purely by looking at domestic coal thermal. You will have to look at both imported sources of a fuel and also look at renewable sources. And India, I believe, has got a unique opportunity over the next 10 years to be able to build out substantial levels of renewable capacity in order to meet our growing energy requirements. As a nation, I think we've got a fairly low per capita consumption of energy. I like this number because it shows us, this graph shows us what a stark contrast there is. The US consumes about 15,000 units of energy in a year. Developed OECD countries consume about 9,000 units of energy in a year, and India consumes about 600 units of energy in a year, and we are only slightly above sub-Saharan Africa. So certainly, as a nation, we need a lot of incremental energy in order to provide, a better quality of life for our people, and also in order to be able to effectively drive economic growth. One of the fuel sources that India has available in abundance is sunlight. I think we've got the highest level of available solar irradiation as compared to any other country in the world, any other large economy country in the world. And this is a resource which as a nation, we need to effectively utilize in order to meet our daytime peaking requirements of fuel. I'll spend a little time talking about peaking power, because when we look at energy demand is not consistent throughout the day. Energy demand tends to start rising in the morning. As we wake up and we rise, we tend to consume more energy. We turn on our lights, we turn on our fans, we turn on appliances, factories start up, offices, commercial complexes start up, energy demand rises. And it tends to rise through the day, and then in the evening it starts to fall off as we start to commute back to our homes. And then once again in the evening, as we power up lights and other devices at home, energy demand again rises in the evening. As a result of this, there's a need to have peaking power plants built to service daytime peaking needs. And these peaking power plants, if you utilize any other fuel source other than solar, will end up costing significantly higher than the cost of solar, which is why we believe over a period of time the right fuel source to utilize to meet daytime peaking power needs is solar power. We believe solar is for certain the best fit for a country like India, partly because India has obviously got substantial energy deficits, and solar has got the advantage that you can build out solar power plants very quickly, so short gestation periods. We can build out a solar power plant in 6 months or so. India's got the advantage that solar's got the advantage that it can be built out in a distributed manner. Usually when you build a coal thermal power plant, you build a single large plant, 1,000 megawatts, 2,000, 4,000, 6,000 megawatts, large single units of power. Whereas with solar power plants, you can build out distributed generation, 10, 20, 30, 40 megawatts, small units spread across the length and breadth of India. And that, I think, solves India's second problem, because as a nation, as we solve our power generation problems, the next challenge we're going to hit is how we're going to transmit this power and distribute this power across the length and breadth of the country. And with solar, with the ability to build out distributed power generation, I think we meet that fundamental need. The other benefit solar has got is solar's generation profile, the manner in which solar power is generated, meets and is similar to our demand profile, both on a daily basis. So solar, we tend to follow the solar cycle as human beings. We rise in the morning when the sun rises, and most of us go to bed in the evening when the sun sets. And therefore, that energy generation perfectly overlays our consumption cycle. And therefore, it's an ideal source of energy to meet that requirement. Also, on a seasonal basis, especially in India, we consume much more energy in the summer and much less energy in the winter. And because we consume more energy in the summer and less energy in the winter, solar power plants also generate more energy in the summer when there's lots of sunlight, and less energy in the winter when there is less sunlight. For a number of these reasons and many more, I can spend a lot of time on it. We think solar is an ideal fit to India. So a little bit about our solar project. I'll allow Mr. Ghai to take over and talk about the Gunthewada 30 megawatt solar project.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Gunthewada project, some of the key highlights are that it's a total capacity is 30 megawatt, largest solar farm, PV farm in Asia. This is being set up by two special purpose vehicle setups, which is precious energy and solitaire energy. Total project cost is about 465 crores, and we've completed this in a record time of 4 months, and for this 30 megawatt project. This is expected to be generating about 50 million units annually, which would be sufficient to generate supply power to 50,000 houses on a daily basis. And it's absolutely a non-polluting clean power. There is no air, water, noise pollution. It's clean, green, and non-perishable daytime power. And with this, we'll be able to save about 50,000 tons of carbon emissions over a period of 1 year. This farm is spread across 300 acres of land in village Gunthawada district, Banaskantha, Gujarat. There are, in terms of specifics about the project, there are 67,000 piles, foundations that are there, and the 4,800 metric tons of fabricated steel has been used. There are more than 235,000 modules have been installed, and in terms of cabling, it is over 1,600 kilometers of cable that has been used in setting up this project. In all, there are 36,800 kilowatt inverters. Total 20 transformers are used. There are 18 transformers of 2 MVA capacity and 2 transformers of 18 MVA capacity, both one for SCPL and the other one SCPL, PSPL. This is the layout of the project, and some of these areas we've taken care in only using the barren land for this. If there were farmland that was coming in between, we had actually left it out, and that's how it looks like. Different colors show the different SPVs and the different kind of modules that we have used. These are some of the photographs during the construction phase. That's how it, various stages of construction that it went through. This is how it looks now, and maybe you would get day after tomorrow the opportunity to physically visit and have a look at this, visit this, experience the something which we have tried to create. There's few more photographs. Yeah. One of the most important aspects for any of the projects is the kind of support that it gets in setting a process from the state government. And I think Gujarat government has played a dominating role in promoting sustainable and clean energy, which is most critical for some of these new sources of energy generation in today's world. It has aims to transform the state into an integrated solar generation hub, and globally they are talking about, the government is talking about making Gujarat a global solar hub, and we are very optimistic, positive about it. Gujarat has released a solar specific policy, and which was phase 1 and phase 2. In all, they have signed 980 megawatts of power purchase agreement, which is more than the rest of the country done anywhere else, so which is something remarkable, commendable as a state to have taken that initiative. And we expect this demand to go about 14,000 megawatts of electricity by 2012, which is next year, and an impressive share and a large portion of this should come from solar in the total generation. And obviously, with these initiatives, we expect Gujarat to be an example of its own and is leading the path, showing the rest of the states. And there has been a tremendous support in terms of realization of this project from various representatives of the government, state government, be it the energy department, the JETCO people who were instrumental in setting up the transmission line, and the collectorate office in terms of various permissions that you seek. These have been pretty transparent. Things actually move in Gujarat. That has been our experience. So it's been an excellent cooperation that one has got. So thanks to the Gujarat government for supporting and providing us this platform to come up with this project.
As far as we are concerned, it was a pleasure working in Gujarat, and the dream of solarizing India and making Gujarat the solar capital of the country. I think it will be realized this is only the starting point, and the speed of good governance and also outstanding support from the various agencies have helped us to move the project very, very rapidly. And it was a good experience, and we want to see that it goes a long way in the coming months. And it has already started generating and also evacuating power. We got the connections on Saturday and from GETCO, and within 2 days we are able to now put on the grid almost 30 megawatts of power. So thanks to all the agencies who are based in Gujarat and also all the support we got. Any questions?
You are requested to raise questions. Please identify yourself and ask a question.
If it has already started generating power, what is Modi going to do on it?
It just, we have to commission it before it is formally inaugurated, because we cannot have an uncommissioned plant being done. All the trial runs have been completed. Today and tomorrow it will start putting out 30 megawatts.
That's okay, but it is already started.
It is formally switching on the the power plant.
I think if any plant, if you set it up, you won't have a chief minister coming, last minute putting it on, and something doesn't work. You will test, you will do all the testing and do all the trial runs and testing before that, so that when he comes and pushes the button, it should start.
It is not commissioned as yet. Right.
It is connected.
It's connected.
Good commission.
My question is to Mr. Ragul Puri and Himanshu from Bloomberg UTV. Mr. Puri, you say you're looking for a target of 1,500 megawatt installed capacity by 2015 in India. So where would be your major focus? Because Gujarat, you're putting up the largest solar park of Asia. So which are the other states you are keen to enter now?
I think as we look at India and you look at the irradiation map of India, how much sunlight does India have? What you will notice is that most parts of India have a lot of sunlight. So that's one of the things we as a nation are blessed with. We've got a fair amount of sunlight virtually across the length and breadth of India. Certainly there are certain parts of India that have got slightly more sunlight than others. I think Gujarat, Rajasthan are two places which have got slightly higher average irradiation levels compared to other states. Some states have got slightly lower irradiation levels. But we believe on a medium to long term basis, there's going to be a need to create large numbers of small power plants, solar power plants, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, in that range size power plants, all across India. Because again, as we look at as a nation, we've got two problems. First problem we've got is we don't have enough generation capacity. But then we've got a much bigger problem. It's much easier to set up one large 5,000 megawatt coal thermal power plant than it is to go out and actually build hundreds of thousands of towers and lay, tens of thousands of kilometers of cabling. It's a much more complicated and difficult process to build out the transmission and distribution capacity. Which is why we believe it's important to have distributed generation, and we think every state in the country will end up building significant levels of solar power capacity to meet their distributed daytime peaking power needs. So we are focusing on virtually every state in the country, and we are in dialogue and are in discussions to set up solar projects, small to mid-sized solar projects across India. To start with, I think everyone's focus is on Gujarat and Rajasthan because that's the highest irradiation levels. So until Gujarat and Rajasthan meet their daytime peaking power needs, their solar requirements, their solar power requirements from local plants, then you start to look at other states.
But which are other geographies in India?
I think Karnataka is a good geography, Tamil Nadu is a good state. Every geography virtually in India is a good geography. There are very few geographies that are not good. So every state in India is good. I think you want an intersection of three factors. You want a state which has got good sunlight. Again, most of India has got good sunlight. You want a state where there is some reasonable amounts of unproductive land, because land is the second one of the solar has a requirement of fair amounts of land. So you don't want to use productive land, you want to use unproductive land. Again, most states in India have got a lot of unproductive land. Some states fewer than others, but there's everywhere there is some level of unproductive land. So you want to look at states which have got unproductive land. So I think virtually every state in the country I think is a potential candidate. And I think what you will see also based upon the new tariff policy that's been announced, the national tariff policy was amended by the central government earlier this year, and that has put a solar purchase obligation on all distribution companies in the country. As a result of which, starting with 0.25% of the energy consumed, going to 3% of the energy consumed between 2011-12 and 2022, you're going to see an increase. There's a solar purchase obligation on the DISCOM. As a result of which, you will see solar power plants getting established virtually across every state.
My second question is, sir, that you're looking for a target. You're targeting 5 gigawatt by 2020 globally.
No, we're targeting 5 gigawatts of installed capacity across all fuel types by 2015 and 5 gigawatts by 2020 on the solar side.
The solar side.
Right.
But your majority of your focus is mainly in Europe. Could you just highlight as to why your focus is mainly in Europe, India and Europe?
I think our focus right now is mainly in India and Europe. But I think as you look towards a longer horizon over the next 5-10 years, I think you will see solar spreading all across the world. What we have seen is Europe, being very green conscious, first adopted solar, and Germany led the way. So if you will look last year, about 55% of the installation of solar power plants took place in Germany alone. This year the ratio will be lower, maybe 40%. Last year the United States was only about 6% of all solar power plants set up last year was in the US. This year maybe it will be close to 15%. So I think the US is now starting to adopt solar in a very, very major way. So I think in the future, also our focus as a developer will be far more on the United States, besides our focus in Europe and India. And India, obviously, it's our home country. It's a country we think has got tremendous solar potential. So India, there's a logical focus for India. Till now, our focus has been Europe. So this, at the end, this month we'll have about 100 megawatts of solar operating capacity, which will be amongst probably the largest solar operating capacity owned by a single developer anywhere in the world. A majority of that right now is in Europe. It's between Italy and Germany. But as we move forward, you see that skewing towards India, because again, as I said, it's our home country.
Thank you.
तो जो प्लांट हमने गुंथेवाड़ा में एस्टैब्लिश किया है, इसकी कैपेसिटी 30 मेगावाट है और ये रफली 5 करोड़ यूनिट्स ऑफ बिजली साल में बनाएगी। लगभग 50,000 घर में इससे बिजली पहुंचेगी और इसमें हमने 460 करोड़ रुपए की इन्वेस्टमेंट करी है और ये गुजरात गवर्नमेंट के गुजरात सोलर स्कीम के पॉलिसी के अंडर में एस्टैब्लिश हुई है। ये प्रोजेक्ट गुंथेवाड़ा विलेज में है, बनासकांठा डिस्ट्रिक्ट में, और ये प्रोजेक्ट रफली 250 एकड़ के ज़मीन के एरिया के ऊपर स्प्रेड हुई है और रफली 300 एकड़ का टोटल लैंड एरिया है। तो ये बिजली गुजरात गवर्नमेंट के पास जाएगी और गुजरात गवर्नमेंट ये बिजली को डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करेगी पूरे गुजरात में, तो गुजरात के लोगों को इस बिजली से फ़ायदा आएगा। इस बिजली की एक बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट कैरेक्टरिस्टिक है कि ये दिन के समय की बिजली है, जहाँ गुजरात में बिजली की बहुत सख्त ज़रूरत है, तो ये दिन की बिजली की इसमें दिन में बिजली बनेगी, तो ये डे टाइम पीकिंग पावर कहलाती है। और ये बिजली दिन में, ये पावर प्लांट दिन में बिजली बनाएगी और समर के टाइम में बिजली बनाएगी जहां बिजली की रिक्वायरमेंट है। पर यूनिट इसमें लेवलाइज टैरिफ 12 रुपया से थोड़ा ऊपर है। 12 रुपया में बेचने का टैरिफ है। हमारा एवरेज लेवलाइज कॉस्ट आएगा रफली अराउंड 10-10.5 रुपया। So It'll produce electricity in all seasons, but every solar power plant produces more energy in the summer and less energy in the winter, and produces more energy in the daytime and less energy at night. Very similar to the solar cycle, because it follows the solar cycle. So as the sun rises, it starts to produce energy. As the sun sets, the level of energy it produces goes down. Similarly, in the summer, there's more sunlight, so it produces more energy in the summer. In the winter, there's less sunlight, it produces less energy in the winter. I think, you know, the profit that's earned on this is about a 16% return on equity, which is what is calculated as per the regulator. The regulator sets the tariff based upon a 16% ROE. So that would be our margin on the project. We would earn a 16% return on the money that we have invested in the project. So गुजरात के अलावा सोलर की पावर प्लांट्स हम तमिलनाडु में हैं, हम इस्टेब्लिश कर रहे हैं राजस्थान में, हम इस्टेब्लिश कर रहे हैं उड़ीसा में, वेस्ट बंगाल में. थर्मल पावर प्लांट्स हम छत्तीसगढ़ में, मध्य प्रदेश में और हिमाचल में लगा रहे हैं. हिमाचल में हाइड्रो पावर प्लांट्स लगा रहे हैं. टोटल इन्वेस्टमेंट हम इन सारे पावर प्लांट्स के बीच में 23,000 करोड़ की इन्वेस्टमेंट कर रहे हैं और लगभग 5,000 मेगावाट के ऊपर की कैपेसिटी है इन द नेक्स्ट 3 years. थैंक यू.